Hey everyone, it's Yaminah Legohn with the Sundial, and I'm back to tell you what's on the horizon. Today we're diving into the world of performance, storytelling, and collaboration. If you've been listening for a while, you might remember we featured the Performance Ensemble last year, and today we're continuing that conversation with a new perspective. I'm here with the wonderful Gavin Ebo, the Instructional Student Assistant for Performance Ensemble, which is a program led by Dr. Jade C. Huel that brings students together to create and stage original work. From scripts and poetry to oral histories, it's all centered around creativity, collaboration, and social justice. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Miss Yaminah Legohn. Can I tell you something?
What's up?
I like your voice.
You like my
And
voice?
it's really nice and everything, especially with this nice setup you got going over here. I'm like, yo, this is pretty cool. I feel like we're having fun and being professional at the same time. Which is
Yes,
dope.
thank you so much. How are you doing today? How are we feeling?
I'm chilling. On the surface, I am a layer of stress and anxiety because of this finals week. But you know what?
Woo.
We in it. I'd rather be stressed doing this than doing something else. So it's really an honor and a blessing, especially now that I'm here with you, talking, shooting stuff. I'm with it.
Yes, we're going to have a great conversation today. We're going to talk
Let's.
all performance ensemble and, of course, you too, okay?
Okay, shucks. All
All
right.
right.
Okay.
So for the first question, what is your role as an instructional student assistant for performance ensemble?
That's a great question. Thanks for that question. So basically, my job as an instructional student assistant, or ISA, is just to assist the professor with teaching the class or with other stuff in the class. So one thing that I've noticed, or what I've learned from Dr. Jade C. Huel, is creating this environment where people feel comfortable in sharing their voice. Even if they just want to be present and they have nothing to say and just want to blurt out a couple of utterances, it's fine. Because one of the key components of this class is just being present and creating a safe environment. So besides helping out with the lesson programs, doing with logistics, the marketing aspect, is just to make sure every student is comfortable, and when they're ready, they feel safe enough to share or a flexion or share an opinion with the class in that aspect. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. So what drew you to performance ensemble?
Dang, 2 for 2 with these questions. All right. Okay. Well, if I can go back in time, it was during my last year as an undergrad here at CSUN, the fabulous CSUN, the Harvard of the West Coast. So I took poetry and performance, and this is the first time where I met Dr. Jade C. Huel. And what I love about that class is that it made me remember how much I love creating. I love being creative and everything. So I was writing poems I didn't, thought I would do it before ever again. And then I was loving it. I was like hearing other people's stories through their poems. Like, this is fun. So at the end of the semester, I walked up to Dr. Jade C. Huel. I was like, hey, I really like this class. I really like how you teach. I wanted to ask, what's the next step? What's another evolved version of this? And then she mentioned performance ensemble. So I got into performance ensemble with the last semester of my undergrad. And then I fell in love with the whole aspect of it because it's like, it's an evolved iteration of poetry, but now with embodiments, with other creatives. And you have some people who are performers, some people who are just more quiet and love to do the researching aspect of it. But then what I loved about it was just like, dang, it's like we're building something together, something that we can call our own, something where people could feel like, oh, I'm proud of what I did. I was scared, but I jumped off the ledge and did something that I didn't think I'd ever do, and then we created something with other people that I didn't think I'd ever meet in my life. So,
Nice.
yeah. Did that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
you did.
I was going off tangent. I was like, wait, I want to make sure I answered Yaminah's question.
Well, it does lead into my next question.
Sweet.
And especially for those who are not familiar with performance ensemble, how would you describe it?
How would I describe performance ensemble? Okay, let's see. So I would say performance ensemble is one of those spaces here offered in CSUN where students could find a sense of community. Being as a student or a double matador, I learned that last semester. I from hearing other people's stories, other students' stories, college can be a scary thing. Finding your voice, finding your own community, especially when you have a certain agency, like, yeah, you don't have to be here, but you got to be here kind of thing.
Right.
Can be kind of scary. And then, as you're getting older, you don't know who to trust, who to talk to, where you belong and everything. So spaces like performance ensemble, it's just another space where people could feel they can be themselves or help discover themselves. And then to also help them realize that, hey, we understand you're afraid because we've been there, or we're still afraid and anxious and everything. So performance ensemble offers a space where people and other students can be there, find their voice, find community, find other like-minded people, or meet new people that they didn't think they'd ever meet before.
Right.
I met someone in the ensemble who is a business major who loves to do business, and I'm like, I've never met anyone in any of my communication studies classes who is a business major.
Right.
And then you're doing this in the performance space. It's like, I mean, you could probably come across those kind of people if you go out in like public, like bars or restaurants or through friends of friends. But in an academic space where people are like, okay, majors stay here, majors go there, everyone go there. But performance ensemble is like a mesh of different voices, different perspectives, different backgrounds, where everyone can come together with different skills, different stories, and contribute to one big goal, which is an end of semester project that appeals to a higher calling for social awareness and social justice. So if I could wrap it up with one thing, it's just a mesh and a celebration of different voices and backgrounds.
Nice. I love that.
Oh,
That's
thanks.
important. And for people who don't know, take your notes because Performance Ensemble is here for you to sign up. So why is it important to create a space for people who don't have prior performing experience to participate in PE?
Okay. That's another good question. Okay, I would say, so your question is, why is it important?
Yes, to create a space for people who don't have prior experience.
So kind of piggyback off my previous answer, I think it's important because as we're getting older, I feel like we had to step in some kind of game. You went from high school to college, and sometimes people can coast through, but I feel like in order to have real growth, you have to be uncomfortable. You got to push through. A plant starts off buried deep in the ground, has to force its way up over time and everything.
Yes.
And you got to be able to be the flower or the plant or whatever tree you want to be and everything. So I think it's important for people who decide to take the class, they want to challenge themselves like, yeah, this is a good space to do it.
Yes.
If you're afraid of public speaking, if you're afraid of performing, or maybe you've had that creative juices in you, but you don't know how to let out because you're worried about criticism or worried of being judged. And I'm just like, it's okay. Again, with my other previous questions, everyone's scared. Everyone's been anxious. Public speaking, public performing is a whole nother ballgame of anxious and scariness. I mean, you can attest to this, right?
Yes.
But at the same time, you can't let fear stop you.
No.
And you have to keep growing. As we're getting older, you got to keep pushing yourself. I mean, I'm not saying that you should, being sediment is fine, because sometimes you got to be at your plateau, and I'm not going to force people what they want to do.
Yeah.
But if you're in this space, you're here for a reason.
Yes.
Either, maybe because you want to take it as an elective, but why would you waste your time just doing nothing? So to match that energy, to match that the purpose of you being in this class, we kind of want to push yourself to help you grow.
Yeah.
Not to become the best speaker or the best performer. It's just how do we help you?
Yeah.
How do we help you become the better version of you at the end of the 3 or 4 months that we're here together?
That's
How do you
nice.
grow? How can we help? I feel like as a TA, as yourself, and as an ISA for myself, one thing I've learned is that we are in a position of service.
Yes.
And it's not really about us. It's about all of us. So then as people in our position, we have to ask, we're here for that. How can we help? How can we help you grow? You want to be a better presenter. You want to be a better performer. You want to be a better team player. You want to be better you.
Yes.
How can I help you be the better you? So spaces like Performance Ensemble, we're there to give you the space to explore that question and give you the tools that we think that could help you. We'll match your energy, and we'll make sure that we get to the finish line where everything's been productive, everything's healthy, and everyone had a good time, and then you have something to call your own, and you can look back and be like, I did that.
Yes, I love how you spoke about the business major in PE because that lets people know that you don't have to be in theater or performance or performer to be in performance ensemble. And I do find it interesting when I see people who are not on the artistic level, who are not practicing their artistry or practicing any type of artistry, but they're more surrounded by logic or business, graphs, math, things like that. They're very confident in those roles, but once they get to performance and speaking publicly, that's where the limitations lie. And so is how you mentioned earlier about facing your fears. It's like you could be really confident in how you do math. You could be very confident in your grades, but once you get on that stage in front of an audience, that's a whole nother courage, a whole nother hill you got to jump over. So I'm glad that you mentioned how important performance is, because not everybody understands that it is a framework that you can really utilize to make change.
Yes.
So I think that's very important that you brought that up. So that's awesome. And so I want to shift the question. So
Shift.
I want to talk about the creative process.
Ah.
So what does the creative process look like when people are creating original work?
Okay. Again, another good question. Okay, if I'm going to bring it back to how things go from the beginning of the semester to the end of the semester, that's all right. So in the beginning of the semester, Dr. Jade C in our whole class, we meet each other. Be like, hi, my name is this. I like to do this, blah, blah, blah. This way we get to get people started with like having their dip their toes into the water, be like, we're going to be talking. But we're not going to throw you in the deep end right away. We just want to say like, hey, who are you? You know, kind of basically what they do in the beginning of class.
Right.
Then the next step is where Dr. Jade C, and I love this because it's a talent show. And I love talent shows because one, you know, like what classes do you get to do with talent and everything and just, you know, do that for the next 2 hours. So you get to see people do their skills. But the underlying lesson with that is you get to know your classmates, know your ensemble mates a little more on their terms.
Right.
Because so now that we have, like I mentioned that we have different people from different backgrounds, people might have a talent where they like, oh, I like doing makeup. Oh, I like doing poetry. Oh, I love video editing. I love to dance. And I love to just stand still and do miming stuff, whatever.
Right.
Whatever you jam, it's cool. Who are you? What is you? How do you convey that through this talent?
Yeah.
So with that, people get warmed up, you get to see what people can do. And at the same time, it kind of, you know, stretches out the room of the tenseness of like, oh, I'm in the classroom, I don't know these people. But you get this free, you create room with that.
Nice.
And then at the same time, you get like, oh, I didn't know you like doing that. So you know a little bit more about the person.
Right.
The next step is, since we're in school, we got to add some like educational background to add to the weight of it.
Yes.
So depending on the theme, Dr. Jade C will assign some articles for the students to read. And when they read, Dr. Jade C is going to ask them to do a reading reflection.
Okay.
To see what points stuck out to them. And then once they share what they wrote based on what they read, Dr. Jade C will then extend it to be like, all right, so you have now that we understand the theoretical backing of this particular topic, which could be the topic of the semester, now let's tie it back to you. Let's bring it back to you.
Okay.
So she might go, all right, now I want you guys to do a creative writing exercise based on this topic.
Right.
You could use what you've read to back up your stuff. So the next class, these students are like, okay, so I just read something written by by so and so. Okay, how does it relate to me?
Right.
Okay, I think I can relate through this way. So I'm going to write this down.
Right.
So the next class, the students share a creative writing experience based on what they've learned, based on the theme of the semester. So basically, you're meshing up school with you.
Okay.
And what I like about this is because not saying that people's voices or stories don't have any weight. Because I know, you know me, I love hearing people's stories and I think people's voices matter. But what if you could add another dimension to it where it feels like, holy crap, I didn't think about it this way.
Right.
Or your experience matches what this scholar said. Oh my God, and it just creates a whole nother dimension to it. It gives it more weight. It's kind of like watching a movie where everything's like 2D. But then when you add in like a 3D aesthetic to it or a different kind of aesthetic, audience would feel like, oh my God, I can relate to that. I feel I can touch it. I can, oh my God, that's me. It's a part of my life and everything.
Right.
So, and it's backed with something. So then the next step is, all right, so you did that with yourself. What I want you to guys do is do it with a group. So with Dr. Jade C, depending on the size of the class, she'd split them into groups. So you already have your story. You already have it backed up with evidence, with scholarly stuff that to talk about in academia. Let's see you connect it with other people's stories. Again, you're highlighting the notion that people come from different backgrounds, different perspectives. But if you can find a way to link different stories, because there's always a way, let's see it.
Right.
So then within this ecosystem where the groups are like, okay, I did this, I thought about this. This conversation starts happening. We're like, well, what if what they said fits in with what you did here? Oh, and then what if what you guys are going to do, I come in with this, with my story, or what I've learned, and then we build this. So then you get the creative juices flowing with some weight and everything. And then once that's done, they get to present it in front of the class. Low stakes. Because the point of the class is like, 1, you have a voice.
Right.
2, it's grounded.
Right.
3, you're collaborating people that you didn't think you'd collaborate with different stories. And 4, you're putting it together within your small group, low stakes, in front of a class.
Okay.
The next step is, all right, so how many groups were there? There was 3 or 2? All right, cool. now that you guys did it with your groups, let's combine the groups together and see how we can mesh everyone's story together. So it just keeps building to a bigger collective, a bigger ethos of a bigger conversations, bigger ideas being thrown at you, bigger suggestions and everything.
Yes.
And it keeps growing and growing and growing. And then once we feel like it matches the theme and where it's going, the students keep working it for the rest of the semester. So it feels like you are creating something.
Right.
You're creating something from your lived experience, your own knowledge, school knowledge, and with a community.
Yes.
And that's what it's all about. It's just you're building knowledge, you're building community that feels you. If it doesn't feel forced, it doesn't feel like you're being forced to do something, you are in the mix.
Yes.
Everyone's story is in the mix. And at the end of the semester, they showcase it either through a stage performance, which is what you and I did,
Right.
or through a video aesthetic or a movie kind of thing, which
Right.
other semesters did. But that's all just to say that, like, there's a start, middle, and end. The process and steps might be similar, but the narratives are always going to be different.
Right.
So what I love about this class is like the process is there, but the story, the journey, the people you meet is always going to be different. But at the end, no matter what semester, what ensemble member is there, everyone can say that I did that. We did that.
I like that.
That's mine. That's ours.
Yes. That's beautiful. I love that. Now, with the collaborations and different personalities and different experiences, I'm sure there are sometimes some ego trips, some challenges that show up. Can you speak to that a little bit?
You have any alcohol here? I'm gonna give you a time over this. Okay. No, so you're right. I mean, people be ego tripping. People be ego tripping sometimes, and it's fine. It's part of regular life and everything.
Yes.
Hell, I ego trip sometimes too. But just one thing I've learned in my communication studies journey is that conflict's always going to be there. I mean, you don't need to have to be in school to know that conflict's always going to happen. It's a normal thing. It happens all the time. But the key thing to remember is how someone approaches it or manages it is the key. And performance ensemble, we get that space.
Yeah.
You've seen it. I've seen it with experience and everything.
Yes.
And sometimes people butt heads. Some people withdraw and everything, and it's okay because that's how people deal with it.
Yes.
But how you manage it and navigate through it, that's the key component of everything. So to do that, you have to be present. I know sometimes in college, some people feel like, oh, I gotta wake up at 10 o'clock because I got a class at 12 and everything, and kick back, which is fine. That's your jam. But if you're in this space and you're trying to challenge yourself to do something brand new or something that's out of your bag, then you got to be present.
Yeah.
You can't do anything if you're not here.
Right.
We want to help you out. We want to build something new, but how can we do that if you're not here?
Yeah.
And even if you're here, are you here?
Yeah.
So with presence, you got to be able to listen.
Yes.
You got to be active listening because some people are sharing ideas, sharing personal stories, vulnerableness and everything, and just being open. And sometimes it's hard for them to do.
Right.
So if while you're there, you have to be present and be actively listening. It's one, to make sure that you're paying attention, and two, it's respect.
Right.
Sometimes in performance ensemble, people share stories because it could be like a cathartic moment where people feel like they have to release something. Maybe they've gone through something traumatic, but they haven't found an outlet or ways to express it. And then one thing I'm proud about the class is that people feel safe to do that.
Right.
They like to create a safe environment. But then it doesn't feel safe if you have audience or people around who are not listening. And at the same time, I feel like everyone should be heard. So you have to reciprocate that notion. So you have to be present, be active at listening. You got to be actively empathetic to listen to what people say, because
Yes.
I'd like the same energy returned back to you.
Yes.
At the same time, you got to utilize your voice.
Yes.
Everyone here at CSUN, in this class, even beyond CSUN, everyone has a voice, and their voice is powerful. It might be a little weird. It might not fit the moment and everything, but just know that your voice has weight.
Yeah.
And sometimes in the performance ensemble space, a voice, an opinion, an utterance could change something.
Yeah.
For example, someone could say something about the traumatic past and they did it with some embodiment. Beautiful, powerful, it's great. You got to the point. But if someone said something where like, hey, what if you did this? And then you say it in a way where it's through active listening, through being empathetic, it could transform something to make it better.
Right.
Can I share something with you?
Yeah, sure.
So what Dr. Jade C. Huel does, and it's one of my favorite things to do, is like if someone says a poem or presents something,
Yes.
when it comes to the Q&A portion, Dr. Jade C. Huel's like, all right, gang, we're going to give them our feedback. I want you to follow these prompts. I like and I wish. So I like would just be like, oh my God, I like how you did this, and it's gassing him up, cheerleading, like, oh, that was amazing. I wish is a way to insert a suggestion. If you say something like, I didn't like this, da 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 da, it's so definite. It closes it
Yeah.
off. It just cuts off the conversation. It's like, no, then you're not getting it.
Feels negative.
But with I wish, it's an opening.
Yeah.
It's an opening to be like, well, I thought about what if you did this, da da da, and then it keeps the conversation flowing. Where the person who's receiving the I wish criticism or suggestion, they'll be like,
Right.
oh, you're right. Maybe if I did this, but what if we took your suggestion, but we did it differently?
Yeah.
And then someone else will be like, oh, you're right. You guys are, what if you did it this way?
Right.
So the I wish is an opening for a conversation.
Yes.
That's built on presence. That's built on active listening, active empathy, and then you utilizing your voice.
Yes.
So to deal with conflicts and to deal with those notions and anything that happens every day, you got to be present. You got to
Yes.
listen, and you got to say something, because nothing can be done if you're not there, if you're not listening, if you don't say anything.
Yes, I love how you worded that and how you brought those examples out as far as like I wish instead of you can fix this, because as a professional in the industry, like you're not really told, you're rejected a lot, right? And so I think Performance Ensemble provides a space where you really can be nurtured as an artist. Because
Yes.
once you step out into the world, they're not going to nurture you. And a lot of times you are dealing with rejection and you don't know why you're being rejected. And a lot of times it has nothing to do with talent or skills. It could just have to do with your look or the person that you know.
Yep.
And so then you're not getting the proper feedback that you need to become better. And so even as a professional, you still need that feedback, but artists are sensitive about their work and should be nurtured in a way so they can expand their work instead of feeling rejected and then want to shut down.
Yes.
So I like that you guys use those methods when you're giving feedback, because it builds community, it builds security, it helps people feel safe with their voice and safe with their community. So I think that's very good that you brought that up. So if you are a performer or a non-artist but you're interested in coming to Performance Ensemble, just know you're not going to be shut down because you didn't say something right or you didn't make the right move during your performance. It's community. So I think that's really good. But I want to circle back on what you were talking about as far as themes, and you were talking about storytelling, and we were talking about conflicts and conflict storytelling and original work. How does social justice particularly show up in the work?
Oh, okay, that's cool. I like that question though. How does social justice appear in the work? Okay, so I'm going to try to attempt to answer it by saying this. So in school, people, like there's students who like to write, who like to read, and if that's your jam, if you feel this is your contribution by writing and reading stuff, go for it. That's dope. I'm not gonna poo-poo on your thing. That's your process. What I love about Performance Ensemble is that we have this notion, and like I like this, is like play with purpose. When I say play with purpose, I mean like how do you take what you've learned in your classrooms through your students, through your classmates, and make it your own? How do you take what someone wrote and make it feel like, okay, I think this person's saying this, and it makes sense to me if I say it this way or if I do it this way. And then what Performance Ensemble does is basically just, all right, so you learned this in this class and you learned this in this particular class, and you're gonna combine it with your story. How do you make it your own way? One thing that I've learned about school is like we learn a lot of stuff, and it feels like repeat, listen, and repeat, and then like that and stuff like that. And then so when you go out of school, people are like, hey, so what'd you learn in school? Oh, can you teach us that kind of thing? And then sometimes people are like, I think it's about this. I think. Or if I that. And then what playing with purpose is like, make it your own, where it feels like when you're saying it, it doesn't feel like a performance.
Right.
You feel like, this is how I understood it. And then this is how it makes sense to me. And then there's no stuttering, there's no, the teacher said this. Like, no, what do you think?
Right.
So if you play with it, you make it your own way.
Yeah.
Now, another component is it's like what we're learning in school is that we're learning more about the world in some aspect, our positionality, what's happening around us and everything. And then if we're learning about the world, we can't not listen. We cannot not listen or pay attention to the other stuff that's happening in the world. That's like either dealing with marginalization, inequalities, social stratification, uneven social stratification, and other unjust stuff that's happening around the world.
Right.
And I feel like a space like school, like the Harvard of the West CSUN does, is give us a positionality to realize that when we leave here, we're entering a world that might be scary, that might not want us to survive.
Yeah.
So spaces like school gets us ready for that kind of space.
Yes.
And within the space of school, there's spaces like performance ensemble and other departments like the theater department, business, and other, whatever your major is, I'm pretty sure you can find that space where you feel like I can matter this way and make a difference.
Yes.
What performance ensemble does is like, what if you took your story and what you've learned in school and made it an appeal to a higher reason? Women's rights, immigration rights, Black Lives Matter, families being separated, health, like really bad health systems and everything that's going on. So you have that in mind. You know what the world is like. How can you create something that you can call your own, that you've learned in class and learned in your life, and appeal to that? How do you play with what you know in your life and what you learned in school for a purpose?
Yes.
And I feel like, it's fine, because like sometimes some theater plays, there's some production that just wants to do a regular play, a regular thing.
Right.
That's fine. People need to be entertained, and that's your jam, that's great. But what if you elevated it to a point where you feel like audiences don't have to be a theater head, an entertainment head, but still be moved about your performance or what you said on that stage? And I think that's the whole point of it. If we're listening to students in this classroom about their stories, about what they have to say, and if it connects to this, awesome. But what if that reach goes beyond the classroom, beyond the stage, beyond someone who'd had no idea that their voice or what their experience has gone through exists in people's lives who are in school?
Yes.
The point of performance ensemble is to create a collective, to reach a collective,
I like that.
to reach out. Because who knows, people might be going through something and they just don't know how to express themselves or know where to look. So let performance ensemble, what they create within that semester, be an option for you to be like,
Yes.
I'm not alone.
Yes.
I'm heard some aspect, or I could do it this way because they did it that way.
Use it as a tool.
As a tool.
Yes. I love that. And that was a great breakdown, and thank you for breaking that down.
Well,
and
thank you for asking.
talking about the storytelling and social media and using your own voice and being able to be an activist in a way that you didn't think you could be. But moving forward, you did talk about CSUN Theater, and you have a show coming up this week.
We do.
You guys are collaborating with CSUN Theater for the Furies.
Yes.
So what inspired that production, and give us some information about it?
For sure. Okay, so as I was saying earlier, so at the end of the semester, the students create their own play. This year, we're doing it different. This semester, we're doing it different. So we've done a couple collaboration projects throughout this whole semester with CSUN Black House, where we had our second annual Black Poetry Works event at CSUN Black House, and it was really awesome. We had a poet, Ronnie Girl, who really tore it down with some dope poems and everything. And then so our second initiative, our second collaboration project was with the theater department, specifically Dr. Jamie Morrison, who is amazing. If y'all have seen The Birds, if you've seen The Birds, it's one of the greatest things I've seen on campus and everything. So it's really awesome to have a second director, because we had Dr. Jade C, Huel, and then we have another talented director, Dr. Jamie Morrison, who's just amazing. She's nice, creative, and it's like, it's really awesome to learn from people who love doing this.
Yes.
So then, and at the same time, we're collaborating with another class, another set of ensembles. It's more like, oh crap, our tribe is getting bigger in some aspect. So within this play, it's called The Furies, and it's based on this old Greek play from back in the day. And what I like about this play is because it's weird how something written from back in the day is still happening now. Can I break down the synopsis of the play? Okay, so basically there's this dude named Orestes, all right? And the play starts off with him on the run. Why is he on the run? Well, because he just killed his mother to avenge his father. What? We're starting off the play hot with that kind of thing? Like, someone's is on the chase and everything.
Right.
But at the same time, while he's on the run, you got these old gods called the Furies who are like, hey, you can't be killing people. That's not right. We want justice. Let's get this fool and everything. So he's on the run, and they're trying to get him. And then all of a sudden, God Apollo comes in. A god is like, yo, he's my boy. That's my boy. I know what he did. I kind of had my hands on it, but you should leave him alone and everything. And the Furies are like, hell no. No. We need justice. They killed him. And then Apollo's like, no. And then all this loud nonsense happens and everything. And they're like, you know what? We got to find someone to figure this out. So they reached out to Goddess Athena.
Okay.
Goddess Athena comes in and it's like, yo, what's the beef? What's going on?
Yes.
Well, you did this. Justice. It's and then it's like, yo. This is crazy. This is crazy. I'm going to sort this out. So what she does and what the play does is talk about how the first trial came to be, the first established court system, where you have a 12-man jury, lawyers and everything, shout out to Law and Order, that's arguing the case. And then basically, so Apollo is like defending Orestes, saying like, hey, you guys should let him be innocent because he's doing this, whatever. And the Furies are like, no, you did this and that. And they have a point. Now, without spoiling the thing, the whole play talks about what justice is and
Okay.
what's equal and what's right. Let's go deeper than that.
Right up your alley.
Let's go a little deeper than that. What is justice and equality when people who set justice don't follow the rules and they get to rewrite the rules on their own terms? That's kind of crazy, right?
Yeah.
Kind of maddening a little bit. Kind of pisses you off a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's go deeper than that. What if those people who set the rules don't follow the rules, but set it to a point where they're positioning a certain identity or community as less than? Is that justice? No, I don't know. Now, basically, without spoiling the play, Apollo's main argument with this to defend Orestes is like, yeah, he killed his mom, but the mom's not a real parent. Women and mothers are just there as soil for the plant. They're just there just to give birth, raise the kids, and then the parent and the father comes in as a real parent and raises the kid. So what kind of justice is that? If we have gods and powers that be that set the rules of what's right and wrong, and they can change anytime they want, but also saying that women are less than. You're saying if someone is not a male and you're setting the rules, they have to abide the rules, but the rules doesn't apply to them in some aspect. Their voice doesn't matter.
Okay.
Now imagine if someone says, hey, you're black and brown. Follow these rules. We're going to change it. But these rules don't really apply to you, and it's always going to be our way. But still follow it. What if you're a woman, a black, brown woman? Follow these rules. But they're not going to do any good for you. But if you break
Right.
it, we're going to put you
Right.
less than. We don't really see you as a person. That should piss you off.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean right. My mom is a brown woman. I would hate to say that my mom is nothing but a soil for the
Right,
plant.
right,
He's saying that mom doesn't have rights.
Right.
There's other women like my mom. There's other people like my mom.
Okay.
And you're saying that they're not equal, but we got to follow these stupid rules?
Yes.
It should piss you off. So how do you challenge that? So what the play does is ask audiences to look at the established rules that's happening right now.
Okay.
Do you like it? No. What are you going to do about it? You're going to say something? What are you going to say? So basically, embrace your emotions, embrace your anger. Community can be built through happiness, joy, and sadness, but it also can be built through anger
Yeah.
and in a productive way. You see people on the streets protesting for rights and everything. Good. That's a creative outlet to get your word out there.
Okay.
So if you're pissed, good. You're human.
Yes.
What are you going to do about it?
Whew, sounds like this play got a lot going on. And you definitely need to go out and see it because
Yes.
it's coming up. So we're going to wrap this up. And I love talking about the Furies, but y'all got to go and see it because he can't give you the whole story,
Yes.
okay? So what do you hope that participants and audience take away from this show? And when is the show? Give us some information about that.
For sure. So it's happening this weekend. Oh, Thursday, Friday, May 7th, May 8th at 7 p.m. at the Sarais Experimental Theater. We want your audience to sign up. You can find the sign up link on our Instagram page, which is CSUN_PE or the CSUN Theatre Department's Instagram.
Yes.
Sign up for seats. Seats are free. And what I like about the show is that audience are going to be immersed in the show. Most of the time, people are going to be sitting down, but we're going to ask audience to get immersed in the show. Without spoiling it, you guys are going to be involved in the show in some aspect.
Awesome.
And everything. And we want you guys to feel that, like, hey, like I said, it's crazy how an old school play is touching on what's happening right now.
Yes.
So we want participants to feel like, damn, that's crazy how it's still the same thing. Maybe we should do something about it. Start some conversations. To make people realize, like, yo, you can do this.
Yeah.
The whole point of school is for you to make you realize that you've done things before. You've been scared before, but you've done it before. When you leave school, when you leave the theater department or watch or play, when you leave that, we want everyone to feel like you can do something. Your voice matters. You can be present. You can accomplish your goals because you've done it before, and you can do it again in a different space with different people. What stays the same is you and your drive to be the better version of you.
Awesome. I love that. I'm looking forward to hear the response from the show.
Oh,
And tell our audience where they can find you, where they can follow you on social media.
for sure. So Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. So it's CSUN, CSUN_PE on all three sites. Instagram and TikTok, we're just basically showing what the class has been up to, little fun stuff and everything. We have a marketing team that's really helping out for TikTok, so it's going to be some fun videos.
Nice.
And if you want to see an extended version of all our projects and all the stuff we've done, check out our YouTube where you can see Yaminah Legohn perform vintage live and everything along with me and everyone else, and and other future stuff. So check it out. And if you guys are curious about the program, hit up Dr. Jade C. Huel and she can answer any questions. Or hit me up.
Awesome.
I'm down to help out in some kind of aspect.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
I enjoyed interviewing you. I enjoyed talking about Performance Ensemble and your show that's coming up, the Furies. I know it's going to be awesome. It's been a lovely experience sitting down talking with you. We have been on the stage together before, and we have traveled together before, and now we're doing this interview.
We're sitting down, crossing legs, and shooting the jam and everything.
Yes.
She's dope, by the way. I'm going to miss her. I'm going to miss this person.
Oh, you still going to see me, though.
I know.
Well, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure speaking with you.
It was a pleasure.
Yes.
Always a pleasure.
Yes. All right, y'all. So tickets for the Furies have said they sold out, but there may be some left. Remember, it's going to be on May 7th and May 8th. So it's exciting to see that level of support for student-driven performance here at CSUN. So be sure to stay connected with Performance Ensemble to keep up with future productions and opportunities to get involved. I'm Yaminah Legohn with the Sundial, and that's what's on the horizon.
Whoop, whoop.
Bye.